Hi you, thank you so much for subscribing to the YouTube channel. I did get a little bit glam today because I want to share with you the craziest, most nightmare day I've ever had in my modeling career. But before, let's start on something positive. This year, I don't know how it even happened, but I was on the cover of Glamour magazine. If you haven't read the article yet, I'll link it in the description below so you can check it out. They do all digital covers now, and they did the first one called The New Supers, AKA Supermodels. I was like, are you sure? Because don't tell me, and then it's like, oh, it's not happening anymore. Because that does happen, and it's so sad. Well, I don't believe it until I'm on set. I always say that. I don't try to tell anyone or get too excited until I'm on set, and I'm like, okay, you can't get rid of me now, I'm here. In New York City, I was surrounded by these other amazing models, Sainabu, Solange, Yvonne, Alessandra. We were all models over a size 12, and we were in these beautiful gowns in the middle of Chinatown in New York, and people were just walking past and like stopping in their tracks and staring. And I feel like there's not as many curvy women who have been able to have that kind of experience, or especially like a group of models together that have kind of had that moment where people are just like, wow, we were stopping traffic and we were like going down the street and we all felt so confident just in our own skin, worthy and valued and good enough, just being ourselves. All of us definitely had a story where we either believed we couldn't or we'd had someone tell us, so to then be there, it was a huge moment for us all. And then I also just reflected back on all the crap I had to do to get there. Hence why I was sharing this little story time today. I think it's very important when you celebrate the wins and the victories to also remember how you got there. I, for sure, growing up in Kidderminster, in this random little place in England, heard these success stories of overnight fame. You got found on the street and then suddenly you're on a runway in Milan, and I was like, well, that's not relatable to me. I wasn't the cookie cutter model measurement. People never said that I could do editorial work. I was too commercial and smiley. And being 28, also, you are constantly told, especially as a model, your career's over at 22, 23. So to be called like a new super, I was like, oh, I'm revitalized, I'm back. Everyone puts limitations on you, and if you believe them, that'll be it. Like, you will just stay at that limit that other people have set for you. And you have to remember that you set the limit, and the limit is endless. You really can do anything. You have to be able to imagine some things that are just like, how can a girl from the middle of nowhere ever imagine that she would be on the cover of a US magazine being called a new super? This is just like one of many ridiculous stories that I'm like, how did I end up in this situation? And looking back, like, what would I have done differently? And I'm sure there's a lot more that I will remember and share with you. I'm pretty sure I was around 16, 17 years old when I was with a dodgy agency. When I say dodgy, it was like one of those agencies that didn't pay on time or didn't pay at all, or would like change, like go bankrupt and change names and like not pay people, just dodgy. But you don't know that, and you're just like, this is so exciting, you're signed and you're trying to work, and you know, whatever can get your foot in the door. You also trust these people, you know, you hope that people have got your best interests at heart, especially when you're like 16, 17 with big dreams and they're meant to be the experts. It was like a husband and wife, so it was the husband, I think, was emailing, and he was like, hey girls, we've got this big opportunity, and it's to be umbrella girls at like the Formula One racing. I don't even think it was Formula One, I think it was motocross. I don't know what the correct word is it. I think I probably blocked it out of my memory. But anyway, it was to be an umbrella girl for one of the drivers. You wear the cute little outfit and you have the umbrella, and yeah, you walk out with the driver. Why you have an umbrella? In England it does rain, but I don't think it's about that. You kind of are around just mingling and representing and kind of being, I guess, their girls for the day or whatever. It was okay money as well. Maybe it was gonna be like £300 a day. The job was super vague, and it just said, we're gonna go on a coach together and do this big group casting like as an agency. So we've selected like all the girls that they're interested in, and you'll get to come on the bus, and like I'll be going with you. We're gonna go and like meet them and kind of audition or do the casting. Probably an hour and a half drive from Birmingham to get there. So I remember being with some of the girls that I knew. I was definitely the youngest, I think. I was already more nervous and more shy than the others. And they specifically said to bring minimal, how do they use the word? Like minimal clothing, like wear something tight and showy and like that you can see your body, that type of a thing, like sexy, minimal clothing. And heels, gotta bring heels, obviously. I just remember getting there, we went into this room, and then it was apparent that it was like an international like biker, I guess, in the whole of their team. So you're looking at 20, 30 men maybe. He was probably the youngest. The actual biker was probably like mid-20s, and then the rest were all up to maybe mid-50s. They were all talking and they were like very excited, obviously, because a young bunch of girls, models, not really dressed appropriately, had come on a bus to cast for them, whatever that meant. It was like the mechanics and the behind the scenes staffs and just everyone obviously wanted to spectate. Then it was like, okay, girls, you're basically we're gonna set the chairs up and you're gonna have a runway and you're gonna walk up and down. Some runways are up elevated higher or they're quite far from the people watching. This was a small-ish room, so like people could almost touch your leg. It was that close. All these men are sat down and then they're given pieces of paper and they must write our names down, or maybe I don't even know if they wrote our names down or just our numbers. And then we were all to get voted like out of 10. The girl who got the highest number got the job. When I heard this and they were like, yeah, you've got to like parade down in, again, the minimal clothing, I was super, super uncomfortable. And I blamed myself in the fact that I was like, oh, is there something wrong with me that I don't want to do this when all the other girls were okay with it? And then the agent was kind of like, why don't you want to do it? Like, what's wrong? I was like, I just don't feel comfortable doing it. They were very open about scoring us, again, physically, out of 10. And they were very verbal about it as well. There was like cheering, or like, I noticed some of the girls that walked out and it was like silent and it was so awkward and it was just soul destroying for them. And like they would just kind of hurry back in. It was so normalized that you were going to be walking and rated out of 10 in front of 20 men that you don't know is just crazy, and it's not okay and it's not normal. Definitely remember the other models just being like, oh, come on, Iskra, it'll be fine, go on. And seeing it as this light-hearted, like jokey thing. And part of me wanted to be able to do that in a way, like, oh wow, look how confident they are and how sexy they are and da-da-da. But then I was just like, ugh, I had this icky feeling. And then I was thinking about my parents and I was like, oh God, no, I can't do this. If my dad ever saw that this was going on, I'm grateful that they obviously instilled, you know, enough balls into me to be able to say no to things I was uncomfortable with. And this whole horrific, gosh, what's the word for it? Not detrimental, degrading. This whole horrific, degrading situation was all just to hold an umbrella for someone. I just didn't feel comfortable. I felt like the men were creepy and too old and I was too young. Then I realized like, oh, I wouldn't want to do this job anyway. That's how I felt. Within the modeling industry, if you upset or rock the boat, you get dropped. You don't get put forward for jobs. You're not the favorite anymore. The agency kept me on, but then they convinced me to move to Turkey, which is a whole nother time for another video. I ended up in Turkey in a model house with 13 other people that didn't speak my language, with dead pigeons falling from the chimney, and I couldn't go out on my own. They went bust eventually. Definitely owed me some money. Owed some girls a lot of money. Well, a lot of money to them then, like 25,000, that was girls' yearly wage, and they would never see that ever. Like when you sign the contract, sometimes it's like, we don't have to pay you for 3 months. That's like quite an industry standard actually. So you can just wait for your money, and then if something goes like bankrupt, you just never see it again. There's a lot of times I've not been paid, or I've had to chase and chase and chase. It's really important that I feel like I share these stories so you don't make the same mistakes as I did. And talking about crazy situations that I really want to expose within the fashion industry. 2 words: fat suit. I've not got enough time right now. We need another 15 minutes. So make sure you comment below any other secrets or tea you want me to spill. I want to know what you want to know. I want to know what you want to know. Okay. Thank you so much for watching.